All right. How's everybody doing this morning? Oh boy, it has been a wild ride this week. I have been very sick. I don't know what it was. It could be the big C, but who knows? Testing here is just jacked because, well, you try and get one, and it's like, yeah, we can see you in about a week and a half. But other than that, I am feeling really good today. Like, so good. Started my day out in full YouTuber fashion. Doing yoga, and then I took a cold shower. It was freezing. It's literally below zero outside here in Texas, which is rare. And I decided, oh, this is the day. I'm over my sickness. I'm gonna jump in and take a cold shower. I'm just that crazy, but I feel great. I gotta say, feel alive. So anyways, hope everybody's having a great time. Today, we're going to be going over virtual machines, kind of revisiting some projects and other things that have kind of been sitting on the back burner. This year, 2022. This is actually the first stream for 2022. So this year, I'm making a commitment to basically just getting after it and doing more Git projects, more Git commits, any existing projects, getting them up to speed. All of that. That's my main commitment this year, to make sure I get to at least 500 contributions. This past year I did 270 contributions. So those are my goals, and we're going to get into it and get into these projects as I have loved it. I basically dedicated all of yesterday. I was still in bed, but I went ahead and just did ArchTitus pretty much all the day because there's been a lot of commits over there, and I cleared out 80-something issues, did 17 pull requests, and then basically cleaned up ArchTitus to be 2.0, and it is vastly improved from the last iteration of it. So very fun. I love that and absolutely love going in there. Looking at chat, Hyper-V enhanced session. I really don't like Hyper-V. It's one of my most hated KVM style virtualizations or bare metal virtualization software out there. Hyper-V, for those that don't know, is Windows-based, Windows server-based, really. And then my favorites, usually like XCP-ng, if you're into open source and free. It's pretty darn good. It's really good, and I love it. I would say from that, I do like, as far as other hypervisors, VMware obviously is probably the king of all this, and I don't really use it in my environment or so much. I've obviously dealt with it because if you're in data centers or you're looking at learning virtualization for business purposes, you have to learn VMware. I mean, there's just no getting around it. But having said that, today's video is going to be more of the stuff that people use on their systems. Specifically, people use VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, QEMU in Linux, all these things. And I wanted to show the performance difference between what I consider probably the most common I see people use, like VirtualBox, which, I really don't like. I never really use VirtualBox except maybe for compatibility or to just check compatibility, as I think it's a terrible virtualization or VM manager. It's just awful, in my opinion. I would rather use a Raspberry Pi than kick up VirtualBox because it just feels like I'm hamstringing myself, even when you got like nested virtualization and all these improvements. So I will pull up VirtualBox because I know that's what most people use, and show you why you're a noob if you use it and why it's so bad. Because it's easy to say it's bad, but a lot of people are like, well, that's my virtualization. But I actually want to show you the difference between a VirtualBox properly optimized and having virtualization enabled, and then also just a straight up QEMU KVM style VM. And seeing those two things. And I'll probably be using VMDKs for this, which, if you're not familiar with that extension, this is actually made by VMware, and VMware is basically the king, the standardization across the virtualization market. If you're going to make a VM and hand it out to someone, it should be VMDK. And you can use VMDKs in QEMU. You can use them in VirtualBox. You can use them in VMware Workstation. They're very, very universal. So with that, let's get on the desktop and get into it. Please, if you're going to ask something, don't spam chat. You're just gonna basically Where's the hide button? We'll just put you in timeout. Yeah. All right, let's get on desktop. Yeah, in VirtualBox is not awful when it comes to some things. It's fine for those that don't know stuff, but I come from a more professional background, so I've used a lot of virtualization in business. And in business, you will never use VirtualBox. And if you do, you'll use it for some type of compatibility, maybe a tool or something, but you will never run a VM in VirtualBox unless, I mean, not even in testing, really. Like I said, VirtualBox is just there for a compatibility type thing. And I'd see most YouTubers and most people on YouTube basically have that. I'm looking at getting my... let's see what we got. I need to fix my stream here. Display script. I think this should work here. Oh, man. All right, well, my display is not working right now. Why aren't you working? Well, let's come back to chat for a second. I have a issue with that. Xrandar. Oh, it says it's not connected. Well, one moment while we do that. Oh, man. I need to fix this, and I just have not yet done that. Soon, though. Soon I will do that. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah. We're good. All right, let's do it. Oh, no. Come on, graphics card. Alrighty. We are back. QEMU is slow. Well, sir, you are using QEMU incorrectly if you think it's slow. So maybe we can fix that today. First off, what are we going to work with? I've actually made on my data drive here under VMs. I have a couple projects, Pop! OS, Mac, which I just did an update to, and ArchTitus, of course. And I wanted to make VMDK files for these, and I did. But I wanted to make them in VirtualBox and also use the same VMDK for QEMU, which you can do. That's the beauty of virtual machines, is they're very, very transplantable. And you can also do, if you're interested, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but if you're interested, look up P2V and virtualization to physical. That's what physical to virtual and virtual to physical. So you'll hear the acronyms P2V or V to P, which means virtual to physical. You can do all these things with virtual machines. It's basically just having like a virtual computer, which is pretty darn awesome. So let's launch into VirtualBox, and I want to just kind of say, here's the performance. Here's VirtualBox in its current iteration, and we're going to probably, let's see what we have in VirtualBox. I think I've already loaded up these. Let's see, we got ArchTitus in here. We'll use that one and just kind of look at what that performance looks like and the start time for it. So we'll do that. Oh, maybe not. Oh, let's just, well, come on. All right. And we'll scale this out just a bit. We'll just go scaled mode. And just kind of give you an idea of the boot time. Not too bad, right? That was what, maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Let's log in, get to desktop. And what we're looking here is just to see what the average boot time is. It's not the best performance, but most people would consider that, okay. I probably should fix my display here, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it for now. So we have ArchTitus right here. It works. its boot time is probably around 30 seconds. Nothing too scientific here. We don't need to be scientific because when it comes to like QEMU, you're going to see the difference. So let's go ahead and shut this down. And we're going to go ahead and pull up QEMU now, which we're going to use that same instance. So we'll launch into this. And I'm just going to make sure before we launch this machine, we're going to look at the image just to see where it is. Oh, where's the vert disk? We'll just go here. You can see we're grabbing that VMDK file. One important thing to know about VMDKs, you can't create them in QEMU. So one thing that VirtualBox is good for is to create like a really stock VMDK file, and then you can just launch it through QEMU if you want to do like a universal thing. So it's not like VirtualBox is worthless, it's just not very good. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start this guy up, and we'll just hit start. Let's see how long it takes for this to go. Just booting up here. And I think when I was doing like a GNOME-based system too, I actually booted into the Arch. All right, 1 second. Let's shut this down. What do I got here? Let's go boot options. I thought I hit apply. Yeah, all right. Let's start that up again. This time we're going to be using this. And we'll push this to number 5. Is that... what happened to that? All right, there it is. I couldn't even switch to it fast enough. Yeah, but anyways, you see the performance difference there. Probably less than 10 seconds for full boot. Let's give it one more restart here, just because that was so quick I didn't even get to my desktop in time. All right. So this is QEMU comparing it to VirtualBox. I mean, the performance difference is night and day. Probably 10 times the performance. Something like that. It is just ridiculously fast compared to your VirtualBox. And just to show that again, let's go ahead and launch back into VirtualBox and show it. Because I think that's the big thing most people miss on this. And let's just go into a blank workspace, probably like what, 5? Yeah, we'll quit out of that. We're gonna launch into ArchTitus again. And you'll see this. All right, so this is the start screen, and I'm just gonna leave it up. And you'll see the time it takes. It just is not well optimized. So why is this? Why is VirtualBox an inferior virtual machine? It's something called KVM. And some people basically misuse it and think, hey, QEMU KVM is the same product. No, KVM is kernel virtual machines, and they're kernel based, meaning they have pretty much hardware access, and it makes them perform so much better. Where VirtualBox is more software based, it has some tie-ins to utilize that KVM or make it from a kernel level, but it's still not the same. And some people are like, well, how is this optimized? And we'll shut this down. And I'm going to show you this is an optimized machine, because we can go into settings over here. And why people like it, I get it. It's easy to use. I will say that. But if we look from the processor perspective, we can enable nested AMV. That actually was disabled. So let's see, maybe that'll give us that performance we need and give it that KVM style performance. So let's just make sure that took. Make sure we have 6 processors. Let's amp this guy up, because it's performing like a dog right now. So let's see if we can get it to about QEMU performance level. So this should be a nested version and have some more processors. Let's see if we can't at least equal QEMU. And the answer is no, you can't. It's just gonna be slower. So there we go. Log in. and eventually it'll get to our desktop. And this is just kind of how it is. Now we can do other things to kind of improve this. I think using like VirtIO or using like the guest tools sometimes can get you a little bit more performance, but you'll never quite get there. And just to shut this down again, and we're going to start this up in our other instance, and we're just going to launch into a Virt Manager, which is QEMU. You don't necessarily need Virt Manager. You can use, let's see, where is Virt Manager? Yeah, I put it over here. Let's just push this to 4. And we'll start this up. And we'll push this to there. So here we go. Starting it up. Again, to showcase the difference, and then we'll move on. So this is QEMU. Comparing it to what you get out of VirtualBox. It is a little bit different, isn't it? And that's where the thing is. So a lot of people say QEMU is worse performance. And this is where you set it up wrong. Basically is really what that means. Obviously there's different ways, different modes to set these things up. Like with VirtualBox, if it's ungodly slow for you on VirtualBox, look at nested VMs, making sure that you have like, obviously if you don't have virtualization turned on your system, you need to do that. Which is a big thing. And I'm going to be making a dedicated YouTube video around this too. I just wanted to start this live stream out, just kind of showcasing it. And yeah, I'm just going to catch up. But yeah, that's one thing I see a lot. If you're really into virtual machines, you need to learn Linux for at least the bare minimum of Linux, and then learn QEMU. You're just doing yourself a disservice if you don't. You'll get so much more performance, because a lot of people look at virtual machines and think they're inferior, and a lot of times the world basically runs on virtual machines. And if you go into a data center, you'll be hard pressed to find a physical server. I don't think I've even touched one in a while, like a very long while, where it wasn't virtualized. That's just how most data centers are set up. So the whole world pretty much runs on VMs, and probably in the future you'll see a lot more like Kubernetes and Docker containers, which is something completely out of the scope of this today. But I at least wanted to kind of touch on virtual machines and some of the first squash what I see everyone else doing, and then let's move into how to set this up. So obviously QEMU, that's where it's at. So get a Linux box. You don't need to run Linux. You could dual boot. You can do whatever you do. But if you're into virtual machines, you got to learn some Linux. And to kind of illustrate how to set it up, I think I did a kind of how-to article. And again, I'll do something in a video in the future on this. But I made a page the other day, basically just virtual machine setup guide. And this kind of shows you how to set it up properly. And we can just kind of do a copy paste here. So this just kind of shows you how many processors you can allocate to a virtual machine. Now, what I like to say is just a rule of thumb when allocating virtual processors. And if you are on Windows and you want to use VirtualBox for this, that's fine as well. This is actually a good process to just figure out what's the optimal thing. I like to do about half of the CPUs here. So if I got 12 threads, typically I want to use 6 threads for a VM. And if you need more than that, I mean, you can start to do it, but you're starting to sacrifice some of your local performance probably in that realm. And then a lot of people miss certain dependency packages when installing. So this is actually made for Debian, but Ubuntu, Pop! OS, a lot of the distributions out there are based on Debian. This works pretty darn well. Arch is a little bit different. If you're looking for a VM setup guide, Arch Wiki has a fantastic walkthrough on virtualization with it. So basically you install these things, and then you do libvirt service, just make sure that's enabled. By default, it should after installation. And then make sure you start the networking. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, you can do a lot of, let's just see where we're at. So we'll do like a virsh, nest, list, and then on all. And where's my password? And you can kind of see this is the default settings that you should have. If you don't see the active yes, then you've set it up wrong. You either need to start it or you need to make sure auto start's enabled. This just prevents your machines from not starting again, which is good. So check these things out, really important as well. QEMU for Windows. I don't think I've ever used QEMU for Windows, and you're going to have issues with that. Now, I think I need to test QEMU in the M1 Mac Pro. I've been doing a lot of experiments with the Mac Minis, which use the M1 chip. I actually have 2 Mac Minis, and I'm working on a Linux kernel directly on the Mac Mini because I love the hardware aspect of the M1 chip. It's really as good as all the YouTubers say it is. It's amazing as far as that. I do see some in chat here mentioning that. And QEMU is just amazing in that regard. Now, QEMU on Windows, I don't think I've ever even tried it. I just don't see that being good. I've tried it through WSL, and it was awful. Don't use QEMU in WSL. I think they do have a Windows binary. Yeah, see, it runs fine under QEMU and Windows. Oh, no. Windows can run fine. Yeah, no. I don't think you can use QEMU in Windows. Yeah, well, I kind of want to try this out, actually. Let's give it a whirl today. Because I know a lot of folks use Windows. I know it's not going to be a great setup, but that does look like it would work. What do you guys think? I'll take a poll in chat. Let me pull up my polls. Where are you at, polls? And we're going to just go set up QEMU in Windows? Question mark? Yes, no. You guys can vote in chat. Let me know. And if that is yes, we'll give it a whirl. Because QEMU is extremely powerful. I can't emphasize that enough. I've always used it in a Linux-based thing. That's where it was developed. And I just see a lot of people using VirtualBox, and I just feel bad. I feel bad for folks using VirtualBox. So it's kind of funny. Was there more fallout from the LTT vids? I don't think there was on that regard. I did make a Twitter post about it, and Linus and Anthony commented on my Twitter post. It was not fun. I don't know how they even bother. After that, I was just like, I hate social media. It was just inundated. You think the whole purpose is to go viral online, but that's not all it's cracked up to be. I was like, all right, well, that's enough Twitter. As soon as they commented, I was just like flooded with ridiculous amounts of notifications. And I was like, yeah, I ain't got time to read all this business. I'm out. So I left. I did comment back and forth with Linus a couple times. And yeah, the whole gist of it all was he installed Linux thinking he could run 100% of his games. And I was like, man, I don't know. Who told you that? That's ridiculous. And I was like, but yes, if your whole objective of that was to figure out if you could run 100% of Windows games in Linux, the answer is no. And the answer will always be use Windows, mainly because you're never going to be able to run 100% of Windows programs on Linux. There's always going to be an oddball program. I mean, things made for Windows work better in Windows generally. There's a couple exceptions, but for the most part, that's just how that works. So, yeah, wild. Man, I gotta say, a lot of people want to see. I want to see if we can do it. I've never actually done QEMU in Windows, but anything to stop people from using VirtualBox. And VirtualBox is usually what I use. So, yeah, let's give it a whirl. All right, it's been a while since I booted into my Windows, so I don't know what I got set up. I guess we'll find out, huh? I'm trying to think. I don't even think... Yeah, I think I have to... I don't even think of my grubs fixed for my Windows yet. I've been in this for so long that I don't even know. Yeah, I've used the QEMU for the Android emulation too, man. Hikari. It works okay. I would say the performance is not very good because Android does a lot of shenanigans with like the kernel. Let's go Windows Boot Manager. I think that should get me there. I think this was Windows 11. Oh, you guys can't see it, but 1 second. I think I got to set up my screen. We'll look at the chat real fast. Oh man, I didn't set up anything. Crap. All right, well. All right, let's come back over to here. All right, let's give QEMU a whirl based on our poll. And let's just look here. I don't even know if I have anything installed. Did I even set up my Brave? No. I haven't even. I'm running on a fresh install. Crap. Well, shows how much I use this. All right. 1 second. I'm just getting my display set up. I think that should work. Keep changes. How's this look? Maybe it'll actually be better for the desktop. Oh, yay. All right, cool. So we got that set up. Yeah. Crap. Yeah. I think I was just like, last time I was on here, I was just doing a eesh. But, oh well, it's a fresh install, so at least it'll be more what most people do. First thing I'm going to do though is this white theme, I got to change it to something that's not like awful. Just, need to activate Windows, by the way. I forget. Is this one activated? I think I activated it at one time. Ah, no, there's no product keys. Well, all right, wasting a product key on this yet. It should have activated. I think at one point I had Windows activated on this machine, but needless to say, I don't know when that was. And what's our starting point here? What kind of processes we rocking? I mean, that's not so bad. Look at that. We're under 100 processes with Windows 11. This should be like a pretty sweet little deal. So let's just set up QEMU on Windows. Usually when I'm making Windows videos, I just boot into my Streambox. Oh, you know what? I could have done Streambox and then done QEMU off the stream, but it wouldn't really show native performance. And when you do any kind of virtualization, you kind of want to do that. All right. We're going to do 64-bit QEMU. Wow. This setup page is a little archaic. Kind of brings me back, though. I'm getting nostalgia from this web page. I see you, Hikari. The official Android SDK runs Android inside of QEMU. Oh, okay. Well, that's an improvement. I think last time I was using an Android virtual machine from it was a specially built one with a little bit of a modified kernel, I think, to get it running. So that's cool. That's an improvement. Delete that edge. Yeah, I think I have. We can probably remove it. I think I have my little removal script still. What do we have on here? Yeah, I think I've removed pretty much everything. Yeah, this is pretty bare bones. So, should work pretty well. Have fun with your Fisher Price OS. Later, GFY. Is it possible to move the smart bar button at the bottom? No, I don't think you... I think there's a third-party tool you can install to move the start bar, though. I don't know. See, I hate modifying things with third-party tools. So, like, most YouTube videos I watch where they're like, download these 8 programs to make Windows 11 look good. I'm like... That's cringe. Like, I'm anti-tools and downloads, extra crap. When you look up your start bar and you got 30 tools just preloaded, I just cringe every time. I'm like, you're literally zapping 30% of your CPU's performance because of that. And I hate to harp on this, but you know how some people say Linux gaming's faster than Windows? Why they think this is they have a bloated Windows instance. And if you bloat up Windows, yeah, Linux gaming could be even better in performance because you just loaded it down with a bunch of tools and crap to move a start bar or to move all these things. Eventually, this stuff does add up, and you'll also see like a little bit of hardware bloat too. Like when I say hardware bloat, like Asus Armory crate. And your Synapse from Razer, if you have Razer hardware, you'll see all that starting to load up too. Then you have all your game launchers. And once you get into there and you start really bloating up Windows, you're going to lose a good chunk of performance. And that's kind of important to know. All right, getting back to QEMU. The Android SDK has been used since like Gingerbread. Oh man, I'll have to look it up because I swear last time I used an Android VM, it was not very performant. I want to say there was a good chunk of lag when I was using it. All right, I'm going to get off this website and stop blinding myself. All right, so we have QEMU. Let's see what we got. Oh, well, QEMU, I guess, didn't install it to the start menu. Interesting. Or maybe I didn't read. That's possible too. Where are you, QEMU? No, it would be 64-bit. Oh, there it is. Weird, I wonder why they didn't add anything. And there is quite a bit of stuff. Oh, you know what? QEMU GUI. I don't know if the GUI, like, because for those that use QEMU in Linux, you have Virt Manager, which is like the GUI front end. QEMU itself is a command line tool. So let's look up QEMU in Windows and see if we can't find that. Here we go. Yeah, I think most things QEMU Manager. So this would be like Virt Manager. Let's see if that's a thing. Although, look at this. This must be a very old article. See, like Linux kernel 2.6, 2008. Okay, that is probably a dead. All right, let's find something a little more recent. Are we using Brave Search? I've tried Brave Search, but I'm sorry. Google is the king of the world for a reason, and it is because their search engine is actually pretty darn good at finding the things that I want to find. All right, QEMU for Windows. Let's see what we have. We've installed it. Let's download the x86 Qt EMU, which is a GUI for QEMU. Got a little taste of Twitter, yeah. I tell you, Twitter. It's good. I mean, you can actually communicate with some folks, and I've gotten some stuff out of it. It's just, the thing I hate about social media in general is to be really successful on social media, like, whether you're right or wrong doesn't matter. It's more of just being really frigid and just saying, this is my point of view. There's no opportunity to change it. So it's terrible for learning, and typically it's just meant for this one-tracked, one-sided mind. And that's the thing I hate about socials just in general, and Twitter for that instance. Because as I gain more knowledge, my viewpoints can change. And some people are like, that just means you're really, it's just part of the learning experience. It's okay to change your opinion. And it freaks people out. These days, it's just not good for social. And I'm like, whatever. It's all about learning new stuff and failing. That's what life's about. I couldn't imagine not. All right, so let's set this up. We'll set the binary pass second to IMG. And then create a folder anywhere for the actual VMs. And let's see that. So we're going to set the binary path to this PC. You know what? There's a new files thing I wanted to try for old Windows 2. QEMU. And let's see what else we got. QEMU image for this next one. All right, I got to change that. It's bugging me. Let's just go. Where is... Oh, well, I'll fix it here in a second. Yeah, I thought my debloat tool changed it from quick access to this PC, but oh well. QEMU. And then we're going to find the image. IMG, where are you at? Oh, there it is. I'm just scrolling past it. And then the machine's path can be anywhere. And we'll move to put that probably on WinData. And then I'll make like a VM folder. VMs. We'll just call it VMs. Localhost, port 6000. That's fine. Finish. Perfect. And then we just do a new machine, and I think the rest is pretty self-explanatory on this. Yeah. And then it's pretty much, it looks like a gimped version of Virt Manager from Linux. You're still going to get probably a little bit more options and a rich feature set in Linux compared to the Windows counterpart using this. But having said that, this is still probably better than VirtualBox in a lot of ways. And if you are missing something from here, you could probably go ahead and throw it through like command prompt in Windows and just directly interface with QEMU itself. But you probably will obviously get a little bit more granularity in Linux. But for those that are like, hey, I can't use Linux, at least you can use QEMU now, which is cool. So let's grab our files. Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh, you know what? I think I need to download that VM, and I don't have any of my network drives. Alrighty. Oh, did I already do it? Ah, sweet. VMs. There's QCow. That's not the VM I had, though. And don't see the other one. I think, oh, that's right. You can't mount my drives in Windows. So I'll have to go back into Linux real fast, and I'm going to go ahead and grab those VMs and toss them into my VMs folder here. Let's just delete that. I don't need that. And let's mount images. Ugh, that's just terrible. I hate that new quick options. The context menu. That's one thing I'm going to actually add to my debloat script as well, is making that change. It drives me crazy. The new context menu in Windows 11. Awful. And I always end up showing more. There's a modification you can make to Windows 2. Basically, make sure you don't have to do that. All right, those are fine. Now I'm going to just grab those VMs we were using at the start of the stream. I'll restart, and we'll get into that. Dio, thanks for the super chat, man. ArchTitus isn't actually considered a distribution. It's considered a script. If there was like an ISO or like an official website, it could be considered a distribution, but as of right now, it does not have its own ISO, and it's mainly just a setup script for vanilla Arch. So good to know. I guess just booting back in and grabbing those files, and then we'll switch back to our desktop here in a second. WSL. Oh wait, no. Good morning, Charles. I'm seeing if I'm missing anything in chat here. Twitter isn't a real place. It's just so toxic. Yeah, that's true. Did you see super chat? Oh yeah. Let me pull up super chat if I miss something. Sometimes I get such a single track mind here. You see, pull that up. All right, that did not. Let's see if it's over on this computer, maybe. There you go. Well, all right. That's okay. 1 second. I'm just making sure. Huh. Weird. My stream here, it does not show my super chats that I got. Ah, crap. 1 second. Well, that's okay. I will go back in history here. Luckily, I got this giant monitor. Oh, Sam, you can use full DE in LXC and Sandback apps. Thanks so much for the super chat, by the way. In Sandback apps like Zoom, Teams, Browser, via X2Go. I've set up Steam headless on LXC with GPU pass-through, shared GPU. Yeah, I would say with X2Go, I think that's using X11 forwarding, using Xorg, and I'm not sure how future-proof that is for some of that, but I will say that's a pretty good solution for a headless application to just kind of get pushed. App streaming is something to I think it's very important. I've set up streaming in a lot of different environments. It's been a couple years. I think the last time big environment I set up app streaming for was like a couple thousand people using Zen App and Zen Desktop, which is a Citrix product that's ungodly expensive. That is definitely not for most. That's just for big business. But it's neat to see more of that app streaming technology kind of come into the forefront and become more available. But I do need to look more into X2Go and stuff. There's Sam. It's a good, pretty cool little product. And I'm just seeing. Oh yeah. Here was this too. Seeing I missed anything else here. As far as the stream, Abu, I am going to be probably pushing it back down to 1080. I've been trying to do 1440p for experiments, and I think we've pretty much settled on 1440p just does not work very well on YouTube streaming, at least not from my setup. So I do need to look at that. And the bit rate has to be set at like 9,000, which is a lot higher than a lot of people. So a lot of times you're going to have some transcoding if you can't handle some of that throughput. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so sorry about that, Sam. I got it. You know, Don, you know I always am breaking stuff on my system when I do that. Every day I'm breaking something. I just, it's fun. Virtual machines all day, every day. But yeah, I am copying that file over too, by the way. I'm just catching up with chat while we're doing that copy process. Speaking of which, I want to make sure that's going. Forgot I need to fix this too. Yeah, about 32 gigs, but I got a 10 gig card here, so we transfer about a gig every 4 or 5 seconds. So it'll only take us a couple minutes to move those 30 or 40 gigs. What file share protocol is he using? I really like NFS if I can. If I'm using and interfacing with a bunch of systems, it'll be Samba or SMB. And I hate SMB. It's terrible. But it's the most compatible because whenever you get Windows on the equation, SMB is kind of where it's at. I need to look more into NFS on Windows. I know if you go into Windows's optional ones, you can actually do some pretty cool stuff with NFS on Windows, or at least I've heard that. I haven't really done it too much. Happy New Year, Alba. Morning, Michael. I don't think you have the bandwidth at home to push 1440. Possible. It's possible. It's definitely towards the higher end. If I really have anything else going on my network, it could definitely be a issue. Happy New Year, Deep Sound. Will you show VMDK creation? Sure. Victor, a lot of times what I like to do for VMDK creation is I will use VirtualBox for that. It's just so much VirtualBox does have a very intuitive interface. That's why a lot of people use it. It may not be very performant, but it is a very good, easy interface, and it's great for noobs getting into virtual machines. I just want to see, hey, the next step here is really to move past it. So what you could do, and I can probably do a little test here after we reboot into Windows and try this one more go, is to take a fresh instance and then let's load up new VMDK using VirtualBox and then import that into QEMU, which we're actually going to do an import of a VMDK file and use that VMDK file in QEMU, but I haven't seen any guides or any way to actually create a VMDK file in QEMU, which if you guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? VMDK files are what VMware uses. It's a VMware file and it's very universal and probably the best format. Not probably. It is the best format for virtual machines and just for compatibility purposes. Lyle, thanks so much for the super chat. Do you know if there's a project like OpenOLEC for OBS so that when a computer boots, it boots straight into OBS? I do not, but you've definitely piqued my interest as I've used like LibElect and some other ones that do specifically basically dedicate a machine for a certain task. And that's something that Linux is extremely strong in when it comes to having a machine do one thing and be extremely stable doing it. Linux is a great operating system for that, because then once you get it all set up and programmed, you never have to worry about like an update breaking things. And those type of systems, when you have it dedicated to one thing, that's like when you go into a shop and you see those menus that you see on the big monitors across like 5 or 6 monitors, when you're ordering like coffee in some hipster joint or something like that. Typically most of those are running Linux in the background because of how good that is. But I need to look into that, Lyle. That's really good. VirtualBox or VMware? I really, as much as I've used VMware and as good as VMware is, I just don't like it for how closed off it is. And also just from the principle of things, VMware stole a ton from Linux to create like ESXi and a lot of that. Actually, they lost I think a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, but it was pennies to VMware at the time. They basically just used and abused Linux in that regard. And I don't like VMware as a company. But having said that, VMware is the market leader. It is the de facto standard. I just don't ever recommend it for anybody. Learn it, know it, and then use QEMU. that's my advice. It's so true. But yeah, VBox is very noob friendly. And that's where most people start. I think, I don't know if my first virtual machine was VBox. It may have been, but VBox has been around for a long time, or VirtualBox has been around for a long time. I want to say the first, almost everything I touched was VMware in more of a data center. So if you're doing it for professional purposes, you got to learn VMware. There's just no getting around it. You use QEMU.image to convert VDI to VMK. At least you probably... Yeah, you can do that, Hikari, but I would say VirtualBox will create VMDK files. So you don't need VMware to make VMDK files. QEMU can't create VMDK files, at least not from what I've seen. So a lot of times, I will still use VirtualBox to create those VMDK files. Proxmox is pretty cool. I like Proxmox for just kind of messing around. And if you have like a dedicated machine and you're doing like a lot of graphics type stuff, Proxmox isn't bad. I've never used it in like a production environment, but for like YouTube videos and when I had like a dedicated box for VMs, Proxmox was nice because it used Spice and some other things that made the display very, very pretty to read, which is nice. So Proxmox is not bad in that regard. I don't recommend it for more of a production or a business environment because most things there are headless and you don't really need it. Proxmox is also based on Debian, which when it comes to that professional environment, you probably want more of a rail-based system, something based off of like a Rocky Linux, the old CentOS, all those types of things is kind of what you'd want more in a production environment. Would you recommend Linux or Windows for online classes, including recording the class with OBS? It's hard to say. It depends on your hardware. So if you have, like I have a whole bunch of Elgato stuff. So I end up using Windows for a lot of my recording because of the hardware I have. I love the Stream Deck, the Elgato lights, the Elgato Camlink Pro. It's just a great value. Where if I go into Linux, I have to pretty much ditch all that control I have on that Windows box. Now I could still do the Elgato lights through like my phone. I used an open source project to interface with my Steam Deck and manually program the buttons. And then also I used a Magewell card, which those are like $1,000 for like a 4 HDMI Magewell that will work on Linux, where the Camlink Pros are about $300. Little did you know, Clark, Proxmox is using QEMU. It doesn't have its own thing. Proxmox is just Debian with QEMU and a nice little front end. You're using QEMU with Proxmox. Cannot make hardware acceleration to work with NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA still is kind of a little bit behind the ball. They're getting better, I think. I hope. I think they released, they used to put a lot more roadblocks, but typically you have to manually edit the XML file and when you create the VM and say, basically trick the NVIDIA card to not think it's a VM. I don't know if you still need to do that workaround, but a couple of years ago when I was passing through an NVIDIA card, I had to do that. All right, let's reboot. I think we caught mostly up with chat. And I'm going to reboot this guy and we'll get on the desktop again and see what we have for our systems on image. And let's go here. I know you can't see anything. 1 second. Ah, good. I got Windows. It's always a dice roll whether or not I can boot into my Windows partition. I usually mess something up. You do not need to do the workaround anymore, but I still do it out of habit just in case. Yeah, it's true. Don't trust NVIDIA. Oh, that's funny. Alrighty. So let's copy some of these. Let's go images and VMs. Let's grab that ArchTitus image we were working with earlier. Come into WinData VMs, and we'll paste that guy in here. Yeah, Windows partitions are always a nightmare just because you can't... well, I mean, it's getting better. With kernel 5.15, NTFS is much better. You can actually use the journal on the drive, which is very, very good. I need to do like a gaming video where I launch a game in Linux on an NTFS drive just to see it. Oh, I'm still a little under the weather, though. Still coughing a bit. Look at this Samba. On a 10 gig card, I'm getting like only 200 and something megabytes per second. Actually, you know what? That's probably because this drive is a spinning platter drive. So it's probably actually the hardware itself that's limited there, not the network. Yeah, it's not as reliable. It's getting more reliable though, which is good. Every time you move your mouse on Windows, the FPS drops dramatically. On VM, bare metal. Do you know any possible... What in the world would cause that? That is a bizarre issue. Let's grab VMDK. Grab that, paste that. And what we're gonna do is launch that. Yeah, but no, to answer your question, I don't. I've never seen that before. That just sounds bizarre. This is gonna be that. Arch, we'll call this ArchTitus. Next. That's fine. Let's see. Machine page. Typically, we would just do like an i44X. I think this is just a BIOS boot, and I think this one down here is like an EFI. Right here, Q35, I think is EFI based. But we'll just do BIOS. I don't think there's anything special on this. CPU count, we'll do 6. And that's fine. Graphics. I usually change this from the standard to like a Vert IO VGA card. Typically, you can get a little more performance. This looks a little different on the Linux counterpart, but the same aspects apply here. Audio, typically you always want AC97. That's probably the most common. And network, user mode, that's fine. Sounds good. Hardware acceleration, yeah. Again, always make sure you're using hardware acceleration, no matter what virtual machine you're using. I have never used TCG. That's interesting. But anyways, amount of memory, let's allocate, I don't know what, probably about 10 gigs. That's fine. We're going to use an existing disk. And what we're going to do is just kind of move that there. Select that and come into data files, VMs, and we'll add that VM. Ooh. Oh, that's not a good idea. It looks like it wants to recreate this. Just paste that. Use an existing disk. Huh. It's acting like it wants to overwrite it. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, so that's just a bug in their system. That should be like open instead of save. But interesting. All right, I think this is ready to run. Let's see what we get. We'll hit start. Status stopped. All right, well. That's interesting. What do we miss here? Start. Start. Huh. I don't know what to tell you. This is the first time I wanted to just try this. But let's... Alright, let's just remove this. And we're going to create a new one. Let's just build it from scratch. Because I just want to see it work. Typically that would work in Linux. It didn't work in Windows. Default is fine. 6. 46. Maybe it was the... That's weird what it says. I'll leave it at 46, but that's just a All right, moving on. It could also be the GPU type that messed it up. We'll leave that, leave that. All right, let's just leave most things stock then. Base. Let's try this again. Oh, you know what? I deleted that file, didn't I? Ah. Let's just restore that. Ah, it's still not there. Fine, have it your way. Yeah, still, I think 7-zip does that. Let's just add 7-zip, shall we? Just 7-zip. And we'll use 7-zip, 7-zip right there. We'll get that installed. All right, let me see if I missed anything in chat. ArchTitus should work now. Let me know if it doesn't. But I released the update yesterday, did a lot of commits. Oh, well, that's interesting. Restarting. I didn't actually restart that, but okay. Yeah, it's a sorry state of QEMU on Windows. I guess if you in a pinch you could use this, but yeah, QEMU on Windows is definitely an inferior solution. Not great. Not great to say the least. But let's give this another whirl here. Happen. Ah. Well, that's odd. Okay, let's just try to create the machine again. We're gonna just try and pipe that directly from there. So we'll just grab VMs, ArchTitus. This is why I always just basically grab directly from my network drive, just in case Windows does something silly and just like wipes out all my VMs. That was weird though, that it just deleted almost all my files there. Very odd. But we can continue on here. While that copies, we can just do ArchTitus. I think I spelled it wrong, but I'm not going to go back and fix it because I'm going to probably delete all this after we're finished anyways. All right. Amount of RAM, about 10 gigs. Use existing. We'll wait for that to finish. Let's all spread a rumor that Chris paid for WinRAR. Oh, reputation ruined. Oh man, who uses WinRAR anymore? Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. Somebody that doesn't know any better, probably. Oh, poor soul. All right, let's see what we get. Start. Start. Okay, so QEMU on Windows, not so good. Not so good there. Nope. So we're just gonna go and make our own ArchTitus, I guess. Let's see if we can actually just create a standard machine. Maybe just having issues with that. Let's just not. We're gonna leave most stuff stock. And we'll create a new disk. Disk size, I'll do like 12. Yeah, let's do like 20 something. Look, it says you could do VMDKs here. That's so yeah. QEMU can do VMDK. Most times you do QCOW2 is the default, but nah, we'll use QCOW2. I just want to see this work. And then we'll go boot options. Let's go CD-ROM. Toss that to the top. Hardware. Media. All righty then. Let's just go images. We'll grab our Arch Linux ISO. Okay. Boot option. Man, this is super jank. Feels like something I wrote. Oh, come on. All right, well, QEMU sucks on Windows. There's a network problem. Like, it doesn't give you any, like, logs or anything. Oh, that's awful. I guess you need to go to a command line, maybe? Is there even a versh in Windows? Let's see. It's not even in my path. I haven't given up on it yet, but what would this be? Is there's like a stock? I bet it would be like QEMU-image. I don't even know all the syntax for it. Is there a dash help? All right, cool. At least it kept some of the syntax from Linux. Check commit. Yeah, I don't feel like doing any of this. All right, we're gonna go back to Linux now. Sorry, I just had to try that because I was fascinated by the QEMU on Windows. But no Windows user, if it's more complicated than it is in Linux, a chance a Windows user going to use that is 0 to none. You would just boot into Linux. I mean, yeah, that's teaching people PowerShell and command line. At that point, just learn Linux terminal. It's way easier. Like, way easier. Just getting around in PowerShell for most users is a tall order. Ah, I missed it. Darn it. Well, that is unfortunate. That's okay. We're going to boot back into our Linux and use QEMU how it's meant to be used. I think what happened with the deletion of that VM, I think I just saw Dawn where it said, hey, odd that Windows deletes files automatically for no reason. It's not really that odd. Windows is known to do this, but in all seriousness, what it probably ended up happening was that GUI program in Windows was very, very rough around the edges. Not much development has gone into it, and I think when I removed the VM, it just went ahead without prompting or anything to delete the entire VM folder. So I just removed and deleted that VM, and on Linux it would show, hey, you deleted that VM, so we're gonna do you want to delete the corresponding files? You get that prompt. On Windows, we didn't get that prompt. So I think what happened was it when we removed the VM, it went ahead and basically deleted the whole folder without prompting. Which sucks. The funny thing was it permanently deleted them. I mean, at the very least, if you're not going to prompt the user, put it to trash, you know? That's just being kind. Why'd you stop streaming on Twitch? I don't know. It just felt like there was no point to streaming on Twitch. Twitch has a better chat interface, I'll say that much. I do miss Twitch's chat. That was awesome. I loved Twitch's chat interface. But as a company and just as a platform, I really just did not like Twitch. So that's why I did. And if I think this would be different too. If I was like a big hardcore gamer, I think Twitch would be the spot to be at. I think it still is for those game streamers. But since I really rarely game stream, I just didn't see a point. But maybe I'll switch back. I do have like a gaming channel here, which I've been tinkering with here and there. But yeah, nothing just yet. 1 second. I'm just gonna get this screen back online, and we will be back in business. And bam, there we go. Yeah, Twitch has a lot better mod tools. Like chat, I'm always like, I always worry about the time if we get like too many people in chat, because it's hard to like time out people and ban them when you get too many users on YouTube. So if you get like 1,000+ users, any of the big streaming on YouTube typically goes to like subscriber only chat or those types of chat, just because of that reason. Can you display to 2 monitors with QEMU? Yeah, Randy, to do that, you do a full PCI pass-through, and it acts like a normal PC. So PCI pass-through, I've done a couple videos on, and that's one thing. Yeah, I miss Discord too. I have my like little Minecraft Discord, and because I wanted to like have some kind of chat, but I learned real quick. I was like, man, running a Discord channel is a lot of work, and I just don't have the time for it. Use Restream and stream to both Twitch and YouTube. If you ever get big enough, Withers Cube, the issue with that is Twitch's contracts, especially just affiliate contracts, prohibit you from restreaming. So you'd eventually get canceled. Twitch is like that jealous girlfriend when it comes to that type of stuff. I feel bad for the people, like their entire livelihood's based on Twitch. They're just so insecure that they have to basically go after everybody. It's kind of funny. At least from the outside looking in. For those the people making money on Twitch, like their livelihoods on Twitch, I feel bad for them. It'd be like getting stuck in a bad relationship and you can't leave. Did you switch to Wayland? No, Holy. Fun thing about Wayland, it does not support BSPWM, or BSP doesn't support Wayland, I should say. So you have a limited selection in what you can do. So if I was going to use BSP, or if I was going to use Wayland, I pretty much would have to use KDE or GNOME. There's really not too many options with Wayland. You're kind of stuck on those desktop environments, which isn't a bad thing. It's just you do limit your options with Wayland. All right, here we go. So let's get back into our virtual machine here. And there's some really cool stuff with like virt managers, what the front end for the QEMU here on Linux is. And you'll see real quick, like our Arch Linux, it's just way more flushed out. You can do a lot of things. So if you wanted to do like PCI pass-through, you would just add the hardware, and you could do it through the GUI here, or you could actually do it through the XML file. Everything here can be actually referenced with like Versh, and I think you got a lot of options on Versh. So where is that? I want to say I was doing a Versh, and there was a list of Where is that? Oh man, look at all these options you can do. You can't even see them all because my giant head's in the way. But needless to say, there is a lot. I want to say like the dump XML was the one I used. And I think it was just Arch Linux. Versh list. All. Oh, I don't have anything in Versh list. Oh, what was it? I think I have to do domain? No. Oh, I can't even remember. It's been so long since I really messed with Versh. Hikari could probably do this a little bit better, but needless to say, you could actually do it from command line as well through that, but you don't need to. You can do most things you need here. There's just a couple times where you might come into like the XML and then modify some stuff, and frankly, you could do it right. Can I add stuff here? Ah, that's cool. Oh no, XML editing is but yes, you could like add stuff. Only enabled if you know what you're doing, but you can actually add stuff directly. See, that's why I love Vert Manager. You don't even need to mess with it if you don't want to. I would love to see a Wayland challenge video. Yeah, Luke, I might do that. As much as I love my little BSPWM, I might need to put it on the back burner and switch over to KDE. And I think, do I even have KDE on here? Sudo app list. Grep, what was it, KDE? Or was it Plasma? I can't remember the package name. There's a, let's just go, I think I'm using SDDM, so I'm pretty sure I have KDE on here. Oh, I don't have SD, what am I using? Maybe I didn't run it as root. Okay, I'm not using SDDM, the manager. Maybe, what am I using? I don't even remember what I put on here. Oh, LightDM. Huh. Well, we could, yeah, let's switch it up today. We're gonna just take a hard left turn from our virtual machines and switch over to Wayland. I wanted to try it at least. If you're not familiar with Wayland, it's a display manager. You know how it's like when I'm switching to get my full 1440p over on the stream, I'm having to do some shenanigans through X11 to make that happen because it's a different input. And I'd love to just mirror these so you always have that. So like when I'm rebooting into Windows, you notice how it just pops up. I'd like that to happen automatically. And I think Wayland might do a better job than Xorg managing a screen mirror. So let's try and do that. I don't even think I have KDE installed. I'm gonna just cheese this because I don't feel like looking a whole bunch of stuff up. We're gonna do task select. Has many people used task cell before or task select? It's pretty cool. It's basically the noob version of just, hey, pick all the packages for me. Oh man. Sorry, still getting over that sickness. Only shows running VMs. That's why. LTT has a lot of influence. Well, yeah. 15 million followers will do that. Change stream title. Ooh. Yeah, probably should. All right. Let's change this. Well, the thing is, most of the intro will probably, I'll leave the stream title alone just because most people rewatching it will probably want to know the virtual machine section. If they get to this section, they're going to be like, nah, all right. So let's do a sudo task SCL. And what task selection does is it just kind of makes this way easy. You just say, okay, install these things, and then it'll just grab all the packages for you. So oh, that's not good luck. It's the devil. No. That's so great. But anyways, yeah. If you ever like, gosh, I want a new desktop environment, and you're on like a Debian, Ubuntu, any kind of system like that, just run task SEL. If it's not installed, apt install it. And then it'll just grab all the packages you need, and you don't really need to worry about it. It just kind of walks everything through for you. Nope. Did I miss another super chat? Jeez, I am failing. Oh my gosh, I am. Sorry, Sam. I read that builds of QEMU are working on GPU units like CPU memory currently work, allow you to get GPU acceleration without actual pass-through. Now that would be next level, Sam. If we can get that in QEMU, oh, that would be just a dream come true for me. Because then you don't need multiple graphics cards to do PCI pass-through. And that's my main gripe with PCI pass-through. One, it's overly complex, which immediately basically excludes most of the population. And then two, you gotta be rich, like extremely wealthy to do it now, because graphics cards cost like $1,000. And that's why I never make a video about PCI pass-through. One, I don't have a bunch of graphics cards laying around. I could use some older cards to emulate GPU pass-through, but I don't want to. I probably should do another video on it, though. Now that we're talking about it, I do have like an old 960 that John Turner gave me back like when I was first starting YouTube. I met up with him at like a quick trip. He actually made the logo too. And he hooked me up with like this older NVIDIA card because I was making videos and I couldn't address most of the NVIDIA problems that people were having because I just didn't have an NVIDIA card. And yeah, it was kind of wild, but yeah, good point there, Sam. Oh, if you're switching to Wayland, you should try Waydroid. Good point, Hikari. I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, I heard about single PCI pass-through, but that is garbage. The reason why I think that's garbage is because you have to basically shut down your GPU on your current operating system and then pass it through to the VM, meaning while you're in that VM, you can't go back to your regular operating system without shutting the VM down. And I don't like that, because the whole purpose of like PCI pass-through is to emulate that you're in one cohesive system. And at that point, if you're gonna do that, just dual boot. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same thing. You might save a couple seconds from like the BIOS screen, but that's about it. So I don't like single GPU pass-through. I'll never make a video about it. Next month, Chris is going to be telling us how great Windows 11 is. It might take a couple of months. Charles. Old Windows. I mean, it's not awful once you get it debloated and remove all of the stuff. But it does require a lot of effort. A lot more effort than you should need to for something that's a paid operating system. Oh, yeah, I do. The access point, right, Michael? It's definitely on my to-do list. I've been actually having... I thought about that the other day because I was looking at, I think, my Ubiquiti setup. And my Ubiquiti access points have been acting a little funky lately. So I might actually wipe out my Wi-Fi again. Yeah, the whole purpose of that. Oh, it's a router. Okay. Well, still. Yeah, I saw the recent AMD announcements. We'll see what they come up with. I would love to see more. I would love to see like just an APU that doesn't suck. I'm interested in the announcement of, what was it, the 5600S or whatever it was. Some of the APUs AMD's coming out with is interesting. That's something I'll definitely look into, as graphics cards are still problematic, and I'd love to get an APU that's not awful. I have yet to see an APU that can do really good 1080p gaming, which is what they're basically claiming, that some of the new APUs can do 1080p gaming like amazingly well. I'm excited to see what Intel's going to bring to the GPU market. I am too, Sam. We need some competition with the GPU market. I'm also waiting for Ethereum to crash and burn, which I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close on that front. I've been saying that for a while, though. Eventually, that will burn up and drop like 90% of its value. So I'm looking forward to the crypto crash that's incoming. I saw something hilarious the other day. It was actually something news, not to get political, but it was somebody that got on there and they were like, everything's going to crash. You need to do a store of value and put your money in crypto. And I was like, this guy's a noob. It's amazing. He is going to hurt so many people. And I was just sitting there watching him talk, and I was like, what an idiot. But anyways, yeah, it was like, I think it was like Fox News or something. And not that I'm like an avid Fox News watcher, but I remember seeing that clip and I was like, wow, people are going to get wrecked if they're putting a lot of their money in crypto to save for the crash. Because most people, if you're not familiar, when you usually have a big correction in the stock market, you can see it specifically in like March and April of 2020. You usually see a beta of like 2 or 3, which means you'll see a 2 or 3 times worse crash in crypto when the stock market dips. So when you had a 30% sell-off in March and April of 2020, you can see about a 60% sell-off in the crypto realm, where I think Bitcoin dropped all the way to 3,000. So, interesting. But anyways, moving on. I don't talk about crypto anymore. Mainly just because I hate it. I like crypto as its future, but I hate the community. I think the community is just awful. And they're just a bunch of scammers and just terrible people in the whole community. So many people don't even understand it. I tried to make a YouTube video about it, but when you're, you gotta kind of, the only thing that really makes views is people don't want to know they're gonna lose money. People want to buy in that they're gonna make a lot of money easily. That's what people like to watch. So my crypto channel on YouTube was like, hey, you're an idiot if you do this. Let's do it. Let me show you how this works. And I'll show you, like, I think I showed like a pump and dump, how that worked. So I saw something that has happened. I was like, hey, this is going to probably pump, and then it's going to dump in a day or two. And then I showed that whole thing. And then I showed the manipulation that happens in crypto realm. I showed how to create your own cryptocurrency, which was kind of easy. Most people are like, oh, you're a genius if you can do it. I'm like, nah, it takes about 10 minutes and a Solidity contract, and you got your own crypto. And then also I showed how to manipulate automated how to make your own market and how AMMs work. So these market makers and how the price can get manipulated, even on a bigger scale when you get millions and billions of dollars into these these ecosystems, you can actually influence the price with, let's say you have $10 million. You could influence the price of like Ethereum and Bitcoin in a big way with that much money, upwards of 10 or 20%. And then when you add in like futures contracts and other things, you can then really manipulate the price and drop it 30% at a whim. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But again, it's not something I really talk about anymore. I'm passionate about it, still read up on it and stuff, but most people are just going to get really hurt. All right, let's move on. We got that going. We do think, let's switch over to SDDM. Ooh, let's do a depackage reconfigure SDDM. All right, we'll move that. Light DM. And I think we can do just a simple reboot on this. But before we do that, I think we'll just do... We'll disable that. And then we're going to enable SDDM. And we'll give it a reboot. Lael, if you want to build your own distro, how do I know what the base packages I need for a system to work? Typically, Arch is a really good stop. I think Arch has probably the best guides on the base packages. For Debian, it's a lot of trial and error, actually. Surprisingly amount of it. Ooh, this is interesting. SDDM looks like it is using the proper... Ah. It's mirroring my monitors by default. Well, that's cool. Now we're talking. Oh, my main monitor's over here now. This is extended. Wow, that is really small. I'm gonna fix my display scaling. I can't even see that. So, all right. Alt space, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Nope, that wasn't it. Play configure. Holy mackerel. What is that? That's like a 4K display? Oh my. Like that. Okay. And then, can I take that? All right, let me fix this. Oh, I can't. Can I replicate? Yes. Let's see how it works. Oh, that that completely broke things. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Let's keep that. Yikes. Okay, let's try a little scaling. Oh, that is so broken. So, okay. We gotta fix the scale. So it's overlapped both monitors. This section right here is running 4K resolution, and then on the inside section, like right in here, is actually... Oh man. So it ends for me like right in here. Like this section down here is all my main monitors. It just overlapped them. So the scaling's all broken. Oh, that's funny. Bummer. So this is why I'm switching to Wayland, because Xorg does not do screen mirroring for anything. What I can do is do like, what do we got? We could run, I think I still have Kitty, cool. All right. This is maximized on this screen. Everything else that you're seeing is actually the behind there. But if I go display, does that fix it? Yes, that fixes things. Okay, cool. So what this display script does, and this is why I'm switching, is it changes the scaling, and it takes this 4K mirrored monitor and then shrinks it down. But XRandar is just not seeing the proper modes. I wanted this to be 1440p to mirror this, but it's not able to capture that mode. On Windows it does, but not here. So what we're going to do is switch to Wayland. And I'm not sure. Let's launch into Brave, which we're going to change some of our global hotkeys before we do that. And shortcuts maybe. Dolphin, emoji, meta dot. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's add an application. Let's go Brave browser. We're gonna add a custom shortcut. We'll go meta B. That, and then we need to add, of course, terminal, right? How can you use Linux without terminal? I guess you can, but man, I wouldn't want to do that. And then changing some KWin. Close Windows, like Alt F4. I was like, what is this, Windows? Nah, we ain't doing that. Meta Q is my go-to. Like, that's the way to close a window. Maximize window. I don't like this meta page up, so I like to just kind of do a meta up for that. And then some of the virtual desktops, which we don't use so much on here, but I love virtual desktops. So we're gonna actually switch desktops. I like to actually change these to meta 1, meta 2, meta 3, and kind of copy what I use for my window management. So this is just kind of a KDE customization 101. And then switching windows to desktops is one thing I like to do. Window to screen 1, and usually I do meta shift 1, meta shift 2, and so on and so forth. All right. Oh wait, nope. That's not the right one. I went too fast. Oh, my scrolling is all wacky. I gotta fix that. Window to desktop 1 is what I wanted. Yeah. Oops. But to screens, if you had like a whole bunch of monitors, those shortcuts would also be very good. All right, so that's good. And then to fix some other stock, like sane KDE settings, one other thing I like to do is come into, yeah, I hate this start menu too. That's right. Give me some old school action. Damn. My sinuses have been so bad. And then, yeah, we'll switch out the theming as well. Go dark theme. Let's make that a little bit easier on your eyes. And then I usually like to do a Nordic theme for this too. I know some people say it's bland, but I like it. install that. It's a little easy on the eyes. It makes readability a lot easier too. I know, I'm working on the eyes, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna get there. Just a little bit longer, and then we're gonna have a nice, appeasing dark theme with proper scaling. Oh, system settings closed unexpectedly. Uh-oh. Why you gotta do that to me, man? I mean, we're on dark theme. We should be. But it's not. Alright, Nordic Darker. Apply. Yeah. We got some shenanigans going on, but let's just do a log off. Log out. And then we'll log back in. Sometimes scaling and some of those things don't work all that well. Oh. And we just need a log out, log back in. Oh boy. Yikes. Oh. We need to get going on this Wayland, I tell you that. Oh, what? Alright. Let's fix the scaling again. Oh, I think there's something happening in the background. It's probably BSPWM doing some stuff to me. That's okay. This is weird. This looks off. Oh, it's probably Alex appearance. Let's grab... If we go... Well, no. Even if we... Okay, yeah. Something. Launch. Yeah, something's off with our color schemes. I think it's because I'm mixing and matching a lot of these. Oh. Alright, let's come back into our settings. Appearance. Nordic Darker, apply. Let's go at application style. We're using Cavantum right now. Let's see. You know, I think it was lightly is one of them. But we can fix this. GTK theme is Nordic Darker. Now, usually, I can fix that. All right, colors. Yeah, that's fine too. Window decor. Nordic, I guess. I do like lightly a bit better, but we need to fix this. This looks awful. Yeah, and I think some of this might get fixed when we switch over to Wayland. Let's switch to Wayland, I think, is the big thing. But, oof. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I like this a lot better. Volantes is amazing. Alright, splash screen. Nordic Darker's fine. Startup. Nordic. Fly. Let's fix that so it's not ugly. And then let's start going on this Wayland business, because you can see right now X Randar is not doing well with this configuration. Switch to Wayland Plasma. Endeavor OS forms. Let's see what they got. This is, I think, an Arch base, but still. So let's see what we got. What kind of packages? Plasma-Wayland. All right. Let's see what it finds. Sounds good to me. Is this a package? That's an Arch package. What do you think it's called on Debian-based machines? Plasma Wayland, Workspace Wayland. Okay. So we'll find that, and then we're just gonna black. Install that. So we're doing K Wayland, K, all that. It's fine. Alrighty. And I don't know if we're gonna need a full reboot or a log out. Let's just go ahead and give it a full restart. And just mainly because I want to see some of this fixed. Oh man, that sucks, Michael. I don't know if I got COVID or not on mine, but I would say I got my 3 shots too. And I got sick as heck, man. I was down for a whole day. And I never get sick, so. Oops, wrong password. But I hope you get better soon, man. It sucks when you're sick. There's nothing worse. Yeah, our tests here in Dallas-Fort Worth, I think we're having one of the biggest outbreaks in the country. But I mean, our testing facilities are just completely overrun. When I checked in on Tuesday, it was an entire 8 days before I could get in from CVS, Walgreens, my local doctor. Everybody was out that long. It was wild. It was just absolutely wild. Now, this looks odd. Well, all right, there's something. How do you log out through command line? Exit. Nah, I can't do a log off. I usually just do a reboot. Yeah, I forgot to log in on the right session. So that's why I was trying to log off so I could hit that session again. I guess I could just reboot. Oh, okay. That was it. Thanks, guys. So we're going to try Plasma Wayland. Try this one more time. P-Kill X. Uh-oh. Okay, that did not work. All right, so issue. Issue with that. That's okay. Let's go back into X11 right fast. I think we're missing some Wayland dependencies. We could try like X Wayland and some other stuff too. So we'll do what is this we got? Sure, we're missing. Oh no, it's got X Wayland. QT Wayland's probably needed. Well, that's installed. QML module Qt Wayland compositor. I feel like that's needed. Lib Wayland, that's installed. Client cursor, Lib Wayland. I wonder if they're gonna port over like PyCom and some other compositors, or if it'll all just be that one compositor. See, there's one compositor right there, so that thing I installed is probably not even needed. Do you have Wayland installed? I think so. X Wayland's installed. Wayland protocol. Yeah, I think it's installed, man. Right? Unless somebody else in chat's done this. Well, let's see. Let's go Wayland. Plasma Workspace Wayland. Oh, jeez. Man. I am feeling a lot better, I'll say that, though. Alright, sudo apt install Plasma Workspace Wayland. And I think that's already there. It is. Alright, maybe there's something in Wiki that I'm missing. Still not finished. Wayland support. It's never gonna be finished. I swear. Wayland showstoppers. Alright, we probably should look that up. It's probably something to do with the way I'm mirroring and scaling. I thought maybe Wayland might handle this scaling better. But maybe not. Alright, login session management. Let's make sure that we're not doing any restore of sessions. We can go into KD session. Oh, still so ugly. What is up with that? Alright, usually, I usually do this anyways. If you go into desktop session, always start with an empty session. That's always needed. So weird. I don't know why that's white. But session restoring does not include. Okay, fine. That's fine. KWin compositing window management. It's fine. Plasma saving restoring activities, which I'm not gonna do. Drag and drop issues, Qt Wayland upstream. Could be a scaling issue, maybe. Let's go into maybe the display configuration. And on this one, see, this is that's what you guys are seeing. And for this display, I'm gonna probably just do 100%. Sorry. All right, compositor. That should be fun. Let's give it a restart, and we'll see what we got. Go for GDDM, Wayland is what chat's saying. We can try that. Well, I gotta say, Wayland's not looking any better than Xorg on this front. It's really like the Achilles heel of a lot of Linux is how we render the display. Everyone keeps saying Wayland's getting better, but every time I try Wayland, it's just not good. It just doesn't work. All right, let's try GDM. Ugh. Sad face. Let's first fix our display. Best as I can fix the display. And then we're going to, I guess, apt install GDM. We could, you know, I might just install GNOME here too. Well, I thought it was... Wasn't it GDM? Oh, GDM 3 is what it is. All right, let's try this out. Yeah, I'm on SDDM right now. We moved from LightDM, which I know LightDM support's going to be awful. Oh, all right. Switch over to old GDM 3. GNOME shell is the only thing to work. Oh man, don't tell me I got to use GNOME. Oh. You know what? Just for giggles, we can try. I'll log out with GDM. We're going to disable SDDM. We're going to switch over to enable GDM. What is it? GDM 3? Status GDM? Interesting. Alright, well, let's give it an old reboot, right? I'll try GDM with KDE first. And then you guys are going to just see me rip GNOME apart. I hate GNOME. But we can make anything work. What's going on here? Asking for cache data failed. Huh. Fine. You know, give me anything? Just a blinking cursor. Huh. We'll see if we can't force it. Nope. All right, well, a hard reset it is. Yeah, this is turning into a... Are you gonna quit? Whatever. I'm over you. You get the reboots. Now, will it pull up GDM is the question here. And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, it... Oh. Yeah. All right. It's so small. Wait. All right, Plasma Wayland, here we come with GDM. This is gonna be a whole bunch of nothing. All right. Pretty. To Gnome we go. You know what? Let's just come back into BSPWM. That's fine. Just get me back to what I know. All right, display script. And bam, there we go. All right. So GNOME Desktop, huh? When was the last time I installed GNOME Desktop? It's been like a year. No, it's been like 2 years probably. Yikes. All right. Let's do this. Wow, you guys are seeing me go down a rabbit hole here. You know, I always get this question. This is a good question by Mr. Music Man. Do you think stable OS like Debian, Ubuntu, or rolling release like Arch, Manjaro are better for everyday use? I get that question all the time. It's a good question. But I often ask this question to myself. And I ask myself this question about every month. Because each one has their pros and cons. Like sometimes when I'm on Debian, I'm like, man, this would be so much easier if I was on Arch and it already had this bleeding edge package that I'm trying to install. And then sometimes I'm on Arch and I'm just like, man, this would be so much easier if all these packages just were static and didn't change so much. And it's like this internal battle that I have with myself. So I can't answer this question for you. Some people can easily answer this question like, Debian, I need my stuff to work 100% of the time. I don't care if it's a little older. I just know when I boot up my system, it's going to work. And some people are like, Arch, man, I got to game a little bit. I got to have the latest and greatest. Who wants to use those old packages? And for me, I love both. And I have problems choosing both because I keep going back and forth. When I've been on Debian for a little bit, I get into Arch, I'm like refreshed. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then when I've been on Arch for a bit and I get into Debian, I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. And just, I love it. It just depends on what you're doing, but it is the eternal question and one that I always battle myself because I love both of them for what they are. Clear Linux. No, nobody has ever said that's the solution. Hey, but I love Clear Linux, man, for what it is. I learned a lot with Clear Linux. I would never use Clear Linux, but I love how they took it and just did something completely different. Yes, the packages are complete garbage, but I love how it handles packages like the suit SW upd, and you can build certain binaries for it. It's not awful, but it's just a really interesting concept of a distribution. And I love how much they use systemd. It's really cool. They didn't just copy paste some other distribution like so many Linux distributions have done. They decided to go their own way, and I can appreciate that. Something to learn from it. The lack of packages is disturbing. Yeah. You better know how to build from source if you're going to use Clear Linux. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Does Clear Linux actually run better in the end? A little bit. A little bit. I'd say it's a little more stable. I love its approach. I love its philosophy, which its philosophy is using like more of like flat packs and other stuff. I love the concept and the theory of it. Execution, on the other hand, yeah, not so much. Clear Linux sounds like Gentoo. It's not. It's just weird. It like Clear Linux is his own thing. I love all the aspects of it though. It's neat. I remember the first time I looked at it, I was like, this is garbage. This is just Intel crap. And then I started like messing around with it, and then I gained a new appreciation for it once I really started to understand the distribution. I would still never use it, but it made me marvel at its idea and its different approach, its uniqueness. All right, I guess we should try this. I've been... here comes GNOME. Let's do it. Let's do it. GNOME, here we've come to visit. We meet again. It's been many years since I tried you. I think that was it. I can't read. You guys could probably read this screen better than me. Oh. Alrighty, settings. Can I bring that over to here? Oh, good, okay. 1 second, let me fix these displays. Mirror the displays. Is it really gonna do 1440p? Mirrored? Oh. Oh no. It worked. I might use GNOME, guys. It actually worked well. Oh. Crap. That does work. Oh. I might need to use this pile of poo now. Alright, well, Wayland does work with the mirroring. Oh. So ugly. Alright, we gotta fix this. You know what? I made a script a long time ago. Let's go off into complete left field. There was a script I made back in, I think it was like 2018 when I first got into Linux desktop. And I haven't updated it in forever. I think it was like Ubuntu setup. And it basically, oh, you guys would laugh your butt off. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Is it this one? Let's see, what was I doing? VirtualBox. Oh, yeah, I actually was doing some... I was just learning. I didn't even know about QEMU right back here. It's like, I think I was still using XCP-ng on a dedicated box. Yeah, this is circa, when was the last update to this? Yeah, 2 years ago. Does it show the exact date? July 2020 was the last commit. That must have been somebody else. Oh, there's a pull request. I was about to say. Like, I don't think I used it that early, but that's not what I was looking for. There was another weird, like, you guys will look at this and be like, that is just weird. You could turn it into a Mac. I need a, you know, let's turn it into a Mac. I think I've done this a while back. Let's do that. What do you guys say? Mac or, here, I'll do a poll. 1 second. Oh, I still don't have my thing going. Leo, thanks for the super chat. Those who really know Linux knows that ReactOS is the world's best distro. All right, here we go. We're gonna take a poll here. Let's just see what y'all say. Turn GNOME into... Oh, darn it. I forgot I don't have Synergy going. To KDE or... All right, should we turn it into KDE? Or Windows-esque, KDE Windows-esque, or Mac style. So 1 second, we're gonna go. All right, let's see who wins out in the design wars on chat. Do you like the Windows style or the Mac style better? We're talking about just aesthetics here. Start bar on the bottom, little start menu. Or do you like the Mac style that's more of that? So we'll rip off one of these operating systems and make GNOME look better than its awful default stock. Oh, this is going to be a good one. We're neck and neck. 50-50. This is a lot closer than I thought. Holy mackerel. People are just trolling now. Probably. Get used to it. How about no material shell? Oh! Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys are a bunch of trolls. People love GNOME. No, they don't. They just don't know any better. That's my official stance. People don't love GNOME. They just don't know any better. No Material Shell is a project that I want to check back up on. No Material Shell. This was something that was amazing. Oh, yeah. Somebody mentioned in chat. And I used this. This was actually Material. Papa El Gringo was the person that made the initial one that Hikari turned me on to using Awesome Window Manager. And then he splintered off. I think he joined the GNOME team and developed GNOME Material Shell. I want to say that was what happened. Okay. Which version are we on here? Settings. About... What GNOME version? We're on 41. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're on the latest shell. Extension version 17. Hook it up. Oh, wait. We need the browse. Oh, that's right. Ugh. GNOME and their browser extensions. Let's install viruses. If I wanted to like write a bunch of viruses for Linux, GNOME is where I would start. I would infect every GNOME user known to man. So, can we just reload this maybe? Ah, here we go. Can we just toggle that on? Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Awesomeness is about to begin. Right after I figure out how to... Okay, I think that works. I can never see that. We'll set like an auto login here. Ah. Crap. It's not working. I don't think Material Shell works with Wayland. Oh, man. Sad face. All right. Oh no, something has gone wrong. Crap. We've broken GNOME. All we did was install an extension. GNOME and your great design. You. Terrible desktop environment. Ah. Can't even take a bad... This is why... Alright, well, fine. How do we manually remove this? What is that? I can't even see what I picked. Once again, Microsoft officially roots out Linux. Oh, man. Oh man, it's so small, Tanmay. I can't even see what I'm doing. Can I at least get like a... Can you give me a prompt, please? Nope. Nope, you can't. Alright, well, you know. Nothing. Alright. TTY? Or yeah, TTY. Oh, wait. It came back. Oh, jeez. Alrighty. Where's the... It's so small. Let's just do a restart. I can't even see it, so if you guys are complaining you can't see it, don't worry, I'm in the same boat. This is what happens if I try Gnome. I should have just stuck with it. All right, we're gonna give it another go. We're gonna give it the old honest try here. Old college try. I'm not gonna give up that easy. I'm not gonna just bounce on Gnome that quick. We're gonna fix Gnome. I think anything can be fixed. But first I have to figure out a way to uninstall Material Shell. No. Alright, well that's not gonna work. Manually uninstalling those was... Alright. How do we manually uninstall these extensions? That's a good question. So let's fix our Gnome. Whatever. Such a terrible design. Come on, Gnome, get your stuff together. How to completely remove a shell. Oh, okay. All right, let's take a look at local, share, Gnome. Ah, there we go. All right, we're coming back. We're coming back, guys. Oh, boy. That was an adventure. Oh, jeez. Let's kill X, and we're going to come back into our super small login prompt. Come back into old Gnome. Feel like just doing like a challenge, being a Gnome. Oh, all right. We need to fix it. I think people wanted it to be Mac. I think I already had something to make it look Mac-ish. Which, honestly, it's better than the stock Gnome. Let's go into my GitHub. Let's see how up-to-date this was. I think it was last year. I actually made a product out of this and made a built-in script for Pop! OS. But this should work on Debian, too. Let's just take that and sudo Gnome tweak tools, no installation candidate. Oh, Gnome tweaks is the package replacement for it. So we need to install Gnome tweaks. Oh, okay. It looks like everything was there except for Gnome tweaks. And that's already installed. All right, all the rest of those look fine. I need to fix my shortcuts. Gotta have desktop keyboard shortcuts. Otherwise, what's the point of using Linux? Gotta have your shortcuts. Where are those shortcuts? All right, quit. Exit. Okay. Windows? Love how giant my mouse cursor is. You guys never have to worry about where I'm at. All right, super Q for close window. You know what? This isn't so bad. You know, maybe I was a little bit hesitant. What do we got? Shift? No. All right, let's set that to maximize. Not so bad. Okay, that's fine. That's some sane shortcuts. Launchers. Help browser, super F1. Launch web browser. Super B. Does. Okay. Super E should launch the file explorer home folder. Super E. So now if we go Super E, yeah. You know, it's not so bad. All right, I'm getting used to it. Maybe I just haven't given GNOME a shot. What do y'all think? That's weird. All right. Then let's just add some tweakage. What happened there? Okay, it seemed like it took it. Then we fix Albert. Oh, I wonder if we could do the tiling extension. That probably will break GNOME again. But it's worth a shot. Do we have any sudo commands in there? I think we do have a sudo command. Let's just do a sudo ls just so it has it. Let's see what this does. Ah, missing a thing for Albert. Sudo apt. Install. Let's do a list. It's starting to grow on me. libpython 3.8. Oh no, 3.8's not there for Albert. Yikes. That's like the spotlight. How are we gonna resolve that? Because everything from Python or libpython has moved to 3.9. 3.8's no longer available. Oh, that's a sad face. Oh, I'm super breaking stuff, Sparky. We're going in here. We're basically ripping GNOME apart and redoing it to make it look good. All right. Ah, that's an interesting one. So I think we could probably do like a backwards compatibility. Let's do Albert libpython. Let's see. Something recent, nothing from 2008. All right, a lot of unofficial packages, blah, blah, blah. Debian-based packages. I don't really want to add a bunch of crappy repositories to my system and break it, though. I mean, we can, but not a fan. So if they're showing an install in 2110, they've definitely got to understand that Python 3.8 is not going to be used. Unless I'm installing an old version of Albert. What's that install script look like? Was there one? Did I close the window? Why do I always do that? Oh, nope. Wait. You put that in there? Alright. Can I just, like, wiggle that into there? Nope. Alright. There. Ah! Ah, there we go. Alright. That's kind of weird. Chalk it up to many things. That's okay. We're going to fix it with tiling. I'm going to figure out some way to do some type of tiling. This drag and drop nonsense is just not happening for me. All right. So let's see here. This is an older version. Ah, see. Okay. I need to update this. Where did we output that to? Home mandatory list. Oh, okay. Let's fix that. We're gonna clean that up, and then we're gonna fix it. At least lib6c. All right. C6. Let's grab that. Lib6c is installed. All right, 2.34, but 2.33-2 is to be installed. Nothing there. All right, well, what's that going wrong there? Let's look up its libc. Well, that was too much. We're gonna probably run out of history here. Oh, good night. Good night. All right. Can we add like a carrot, maybe? All right, that might limit it a little bit. But still not enough. Maybe 6C. Jeez, that is a lot of packages, man. And then if we do sudo apt install Albert. So we need lib6c greater than or equal to 2.34, but 2.33 is to be, okay. So we just need to update lib6c to 2.34. It's kind of, maybe it'll grab one of, oh. Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm using an Ubuntu repo, not a Debian repo. Good call. I bet we can do it. You know, I like to have you guys spam chat a little bit. I just want to make sure you guys are still awake. That and you get to sit there and pound desperately as I'm like approaching the end of a cliff, only for me to jump off the cliff, and then as I'm falling, reading chat going, oh yeah, shouldn't have done that. But that's part of the fun, man. I should check to see. You know, we could probably just grab Albert packages directly. We don't necessarily need to install that using official Alberts. Let's see the precompiled packages. Debian. We could add the repository and install manually. Oh, yeah. This would probably be the way to do it. Alrighty. What happens if we start removing repositories while apt is updating? What do y'all think? What do y'all think will happen then? All right. Couple little hiccups, but that's okay. We're getting right through them. Gets huge stream engagement because everybody rages. You're on to me. Imagine using a proper repository. Yeah, the repositories already exist. I think we're going to have a better time with the proper repositories for sure. Yeah. I already got rid of the apt update. So once this updates and upgrades happen, we'll do another apt update, and then we should be able to install Albert just fine. And then we can continue on our install process here. That's how you learn the most, by breaking everything you possibly can. You can't learn anything if you don't break anything. You gotta fail. Well, right now, what we're doing is... I was actually wanting to do a 1440p mirrored stream, and the only thing that would work with Wayland was GNOME. And I hate GNOME, but it's been a long time since I used GNOME, and I was like, you know what? I think I might just rock it for a little bit. Give me some perspective. All right, let's update again. Sudo apt install Albert. Oh, I think we're gonna have a better time this time around. Oh, look at that. It installed just fine. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, moving on. Albert's good. Launch Albert. All right. Launch. Crap. Oh. My Rofi keys are still there. Albert. Okay. Okay. Set hotkey to meta F. Okay, meta F. Set theme to arc blue. You know, I'm gonna go with a dark gray. That seems a little bit more matching. Enable Albert extensions. Terminals actually gonna be custom. Auto start. We're kind of loosely going by these instructions I made a year ago. This is meant for Pop! OS, which would still work great with Pop! OS 20. Ah, excuse me. All right, we're going to do applications. Files. Nah, I don't want to index files. What do I really want to use Albert for? Mainly to launch applications. Yeah, we're just going to do it that way. Cool. So then if we do that, we should have a nice setup. And then we go to extensions. Boom, boom, boom. GNOME extensions. User theme. That. Upgrade. Install. Perfect. Frippery move dock. All right, cool. Install. Dynamic panel transparency. Yeah. Oh, no. Incompatible. Not happening. OSD. Also incompatible, which is fine. I'm not a big notification guy. So, couple Mac things that aren't going to work. Moving on. All right. Manually extension configurations. Panel OSD, don't really use. Cairo dock. I really don't like Cairo dock, so we're probably not going to do the Mac dock thing. Not my jam. Disable Ubuntu dock. I don't really care. And then panel transparency we couldn't install. So with that, we should have a pretty good setup. Now I wonder, one thing I kind of want to see here. Wait. Why? All right, settings. Why would it just do my gigabit card? That's dumb. Yeah. Does that not work? It does not look like that works. I accidentally installed GNOME once and I cried. Fair. That's a fair response. Man, I am draining today. All right. Dash to dock. You could do that too. What happened here? Connect. Does GNOME not like the fact that this is a 10 gig card? Oh, good night. Why GNOME? You know, I'm about to just kick it to the curb on this and just manually configure Network Manager, I guess. That is so weird. It's fine for now. Yeah, I need to take a Sudafed. I'm just trying to work through it without any medicine. But yes, I probably should. Now, you know, I can't do this Mac theme. We're gonna just do a nice little Debian theme. Ah, yeah, that looks better. All right, let's do configure. Wonder if we could do a configure of. All right, that looks all right. Albert's still not launched, but I do want to configure GDM. Can we do tweaks? Let's see what we got in tweaks. Yeah, okay. So we got flame shot, Rumina, variety. You can remove variety. Top bar. That's all fine. Window title bars. Nothing too crazy here. Next up, feel like we could do. Oh, what? How'd Firefox get installed? Dang it. Ah. Where's my shortcut keys? Brave. Evolution's installed. Custom. Jeez. Seeing me struggling here. I tell you. All right. Customize terminal. Or just go launchers, maybe. Nope. Custom shortcuts. Let's do kitty. Command is kitty. And shortcut is super X. Alright, cool. Oh, that's weird. What is up with that title bar? Huh. Okay. Good enough. All right, let's come back into here. We've got most of the preferences going. Now I want to do like a little bit of tiling and then kind of make our own workspaces so I can actually use this. I would say tiling extension gnome. G tile. Oh man, what am I getting into here? I mean, it looks interesting. I don't know, Sparky. I might have on that. We can't. Our testing facilities are full here. It's going around. I'm just self-isolating. Just use Pop Shell for tiling. Pop Shell's pretty good. All right. It can't. Does that have like a Pop Shell? Is that a thing? That would have been nice. But no, everything works through this blasted browser. Yuck. Alright, where's that at? Where's the GNOME? Where's shell integration? Then we just go pop. Is Pop Shell a thing to install? I do not see Pop Shell. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, cool. How to install. All right, that looks fine. Grab this stuff. Let's toss that in there. Oops, a little too fast. Grab this. Toss that in there. Oh, oh, don't copy the DNF. Oh, that's cute. All right. Hold a Linus. All right, here we go. So we got that. Are you sure? Yes. What do we got? What happened here? DNA, decomp, Oppo shell. That should have worked. See if I see anything here. It says that does not exist, so something's up with that script. We're in shell, make local install. Something it is not liking. Oh, the Pop! OS repo is also. But yeah, I would prefer to do the GitHub repo. Windows 10, 21H2. Ah. I give up on Chris reading chat. It just takes me a minute. I think I have it here. So we already have the extensions. And if we go to installed extensions, we can see what's installed. I was just seeing if something a little more intuitive. Install that. Window list. Install that. Window list. Nope. Kill that. Oh, Quake mode. Terminus. That's cool. But alas. Pop! OS shell. Not going, but let's go to their GitHub. Pop shell. Oh, let's see. I like that. Installation. Fedora Gen 2. I mean, there's really not much to it. You just git clone and then make local install. So I guess there's something up with that. When I did the git clone, Pop! OS-shell, and then I did make local install. You shouldn't need to run that as like sudo or anything. Huh. Yeah, it might not be. It's GNOME 41 that I'm on, so I don't think it's compatible with 41 yet. But that's okay. Yeah, I haven't used GNOME in forever. Ugh. I still don't like it. I still think these extensions are like wonky, terrible ideas. Tile. We could try like, ooh, G-Tile. That sounds cool. Or Tiling Assistant. I think it's either between Tiling Assistant and G-Tile. Because this one has 41. Tiling Assistant has 41. This has a lot of reviews as of late. So does this one, though. So which one do we use? kind of feel like Gnome Assistant is a better one. Let's rock that. Let's see what happens. All right, that's fine. Do we need to configure it? All right. Man, I tell you. Huh. Yeah, I guess I should just read that. Reading comprehension, I suppose. I just wanted it to work. But that's all right. We'll go to their Git. Let's do some reading here. Let's do the user guide. Usage, ed tiling, adaptive tiling, favorite layout. Probably do adaptive. Or actually edge tiling. Wait. Does this even do automatic tiling? No. I think it does. Tiling, open after a tiling a window, blah, blah, blah. Let's add some gaps, sure. All right, key bindings. Yeah. So this looks like just straight up binding to certain... I don't even have a keypad, so these are kind of worthless. Binding to certain areas, tile to top, almost like an edge. Doesn't do like auto tiling, it doesn't look like. Wouldn't it be like Super T, right? Let's see what that does. Well, that's not much of a tiling manager, I'll tell you that. Interesting. All right, well. All right. I'm dying. That's about as much as I can do. I've been sick the last 3 or 4 days. And I need to go grab a drink. And I'm probably going to shut it down for today. I think I'm going to mess around with GNOME a little bit more here. Probably get some configuration in and give it an honest shake. Because it's been so long. Probably 2 years since I did GNOME. I think I'll probably do a different layout, make it look more like KDE. And the only reason I'm using GNOME is because Wayland, I want to actually give it a fair shake. Wayland on a KDE is obviously not that great. And it does seem to work. I think it's just making GNOME work. I just hate the extensions. And I'll probably write a new script with whatever I end up on. I want to configure this and make it usable. So for those people that like love GNOME, or maybe those people like me that are like, well, this GNOME's the only thing that's working when it comes to mirroring a 1440p signal properly, then, you know, I want to give it a little bit of try and make it not suck. That's my goal here. So I probably, like a future video, I'll probably do that, and maybe do some type of tiling. Obviously, getting my hotkeys for my virtual desktops working right, and having those workspaces mapped out, and getting it more set up in a tiling window manager set situation. So, but yeah, it's interesting. But I'll go back through chat here. Try Qtile. Try it. Try that. Should be pretty good. Thank you guys so much for joining today as well. Thank you, Gabriel, for the chat. I'll go get some rest. Still got to make a video because I don't have anything. I haven't created anything this week. I like to at least get one video out a week. I had something queued up on the secondary channel, but that was more just talking head video, and I wanted to get something like full blown. I'll probably just take the QEMU because virtualization is pretty second nature to me, and I'll probably just take that and make a video explaining the basics of how to install QEMU, use it, and then some basic troubleshooting steps, and then just release that video and show the differences between VirtualBox and QEMU and how much better QEMU is as far as performance wise. It's way better performing. And then just make that video for tomorrow. I'm gonna go drink and eat something, take a little nap, and then try and jam that out later today. But with that, guys, thanks for coming in, spamming chat, yelling at me, seeing me destroy the computer, and then me looking over and going, oh, yeah, chat's saying that's going to happen. It's always good time, as always. So with that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.